Hello everybody, Kane here today with another episode of our brand new 1.16 zoo, and today we're taking a bit of a break from everything we've been working on, which is kind of funny. We've only made like 4 of these videos, but today we'll be doing at least 2 of these animals. We might do the aardvark as a special third, or that'll be its own video, it kind of depends, but we have a gazelle and shoebill here, which is hopefully the main thing we're going to be working on for a bit of an African-themed exhibit. So I was trying to figure out exactly where this was going to go, and I'm thinking what we might do here is, well, we're going to set up the exhibit before. I know, weird, isn't it? Before we set up the pathways, mostly just because of that exhibit and what I learned from building that. But the idea here is we have our saltwater crocs or I guess our Nile crocs and some hippos over here. So this is already a pretty good place to build this exhibit, but I'm thinking we could put elephants right here. So maybe in fact, we could throw our gazelles in over here somewhere, kind of like following a pattern like this, and have like, like that's more of, I guess, the visitors area. So, we'll just get, again, using our traditional thing of we're just going to randomly outline a few things to kind of get an idea. We'll just throw some like clay down to kind of give us an idea of where a viewing area might be. And I'm thinking the other one, because typically we have like, we have like a rather flat kind of straight viewing area, and then we have more of a curved one towards like one side of the enclosure. And I'm thinking that's what we'll throw over here just to kind of make it look a bit more interesting. And then we'll bring in the pathway once again, or not the pathway, the fence once again, and just kind of bring it in or around like that. Kind of just creating a bit of an interesting looking build. Now, unfortunately, I don't actually have like a giraffe or a zebra or anything else. We do have an ostrich, actually, I believe. Yes, we do have ostriches, which are from exotic birds. So we might have 2 birds and a gazelle in here, which, I mean, I think that'll look okay. Another thing we should throw in, actually, and I'll grab, what will we use for this? We'll just use some spruce planks to, if I can actually get them, to mark this out right now. But what we could do is just kind of, probably back here somewhere, just mark out like a little shelter type thing. And just kind of throw that in like this, which might very well work to kind of just make this look a bit nicer. And yeah, we'll kind of do like that. Just kind of make it look a little bit, give it a bit more of an irregular shape. Kind of go from here. All right, so that's looking pretty good for an overall shape. I think it's a bit, ironically, I was like, oh yeah, I want this to have a more regular shape. No, this is literally just ended up being the normal, weirdly circular exhibit we've been making. I will say though, I don't know. So like, I thought the viewing area is here, right? I was like, oh, this will be a good idea. But now I'm not super sure. Because maybe this should just be like, you walk around the whole thing and you can just see in. I don't know what to do here. Well, okay, so I'm trying to think. We gotta think of like the arguments, right? Like why have the viewing area? I mean, I guess if we keep the viewing area, the advantage is we can put more decorations over here. Maybe we can put like a building or something. At the same time though, maybe we don't need 2 viewing areas. I mean, this isn't a massive exhibit either. Actually, while I'm talking about this, let's just like get some more stuff built. Like this stuff I'm probably not gonna change. But yeah, like this isn't a massive exhibit because none of the animals are all that big. Because it's not even like we're using the Mo creatures ostrich, which is like gigantic. This is like the exotic birds one, which in all fairness is pretty short. So I don't know, it just kind of feels like, I don't know. Like this is a bit of a weird build. That being said, I think it's also kind of difficult. Well, if I had like a proper chain link fence, or I'd built up this area terrain-wise a bit better, it might work a bit nicer. I don't know. I guess we'll just kind of see. We'll just kind of see how the cookie crumbles, quote unquote. Just kind of keep going along. I would have liked to have a proper chain link fence though. That would have been nice. That is one of the things I miss from Zalwa. I do miss having a lot of the blocks that mod adds, because some of them are just fantastic for doing proper little zoos, because you know, you have a bit more variety with fencing and with signs. I do really miss all the signposts and stuff you could get. Really made everything a bit prettier, but it's not at 1.16 yet. Although, for those of you who are wondering, you know, am I going to do another Zalwa Zoo? There probably will be one at some point. Can't tell you exactly when, but we'll probably go back to that mod, since it's probably my favorite zoo mod. I do really love the mods we're playing with this time. It's kind of fun to have a completely different set of animals and all that, but I do very much miss Zalwa and a lot of the creatures that adds, mostly just because I think, well, you know, it's a mod built for making zoos, whereas I feel like the ones we're using today are much more about just like making your Minecraft world a bit more interesting to explore. Both of which are good concepts, you know, it just means one's better for what we're doing here. But yeah, anyway, let's keep just going along. I mean, we don't really need a super complicated fence, and when I was doing like research on what gazelle exhibits typically look like, I mean, this is it. Like literally, it's usually just a chain link fence with some wooden fence posts, and that's about it. In fact, we could probably even just kind of lower these down by one, and I think that'll, I mean, yeah, I think that's gonna be fine. And we may replace the stone slabs on the top. I don't really know yet. We might keep them. I don't know. We'll figure it out when we get there. Which I guess would be right. Well, actually, this one, that should be this tall because that'll have a gate right there. So we'll just kind of do like that. Just kind of keep going along and see what we can come up with. But I mean, that's actually looking pretty decent. And you know what, if we just actually throw in like, I don't know, what is that? That's 6. So 5, 4, 5, okay. That works pretty well. And then we can just kind of like do that, throw in more glass railing and whatnot. And where is, did I use spruce or did I use the river wood? I don't remember. Spruce, okay. You know, it's hard to keep track of some of these things, and we'll just kind of like do this. Well, and I guess having a wooden platform here does kind of mean we can like build more off of this, so we could have like a slightly raised up section over here, and that could connect up to whatever exhibit's going over there and whatnot, but we'll see how that all kind of works. I am kind of realizing though, I might not need to cut as much for this episode because, well, it's not really going to be as complicated, is it? You know, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, it's going to be like all the other exhibits we've done, right? So, you know, lots of rock work and all this kind of stuff, but I really don't think this one will have all that, really, because we're just doing a, ooh, I kind of want to see how that'll look, but we're just doing a small little Savanna exhibit. And typically when you do Savanna exhibits, you don't really go all that overboard with like rocks or anything, because, you know, they're meant to be much more like flat and kind of just open terrain, because these are fast animals that are sprinting everywhere, so they're not really going to be living in super craggy environments. Speaking of that though, let's bring in, yeah, let's bring in some stone. We'll kind of make a similar shelter to the hippo one, because I think that was just a brilliant looking shelter. How do we want to do this? We could just literally, okay, I'm trying to think here. How do we want to do this? We could move it all back by one, so that way that connects up to the fence that, okay. All right, that'll work. And then we could just kind of bring this back around and maybe we do like, this side's got like a bit more proper thing there, and then we can bring all of this back. And we'll make sure to like, you know, properly add in some windows and mix up the blocks in a second. But I think this will look okay. And about 4 blocks tall should be tall enough. Again, I think that's the other weird thing I'm not used to. It's kind of like the difference between fossils and archaeology and Reborn here, where yeah, well, all the animals are just dramatically different in terms of scale. I'm very much used to, once again, I want to see how the jungle might look for this. If that's gonna look weird, maybe we should just stick with the acacia logs for the frame of this building. What was I gonna say? It feels kind of like, you know, how I feel sometimes when I play with the Jurassic World Reborn mod or Jurassic Craft or any of those any derivatives of that mod. Where basically all of the animals are way bigger than, you know, most other mods would have them. So you get kind of used to having to build these massive enclosures, and in a lot of ways that's what Zawa's like. Like, the Zawa animals they're pretty big. So I've gotten used to building much larger exhibits for them and all this kind of stuff, because, you know, they're fairly big animals. But all of these mods, their animals are, they're quite small. So I'm kind of having to remember, oh yeah, no, we don't need these colossal enclosures. In fact, we're kind of okay with what we, you know, like a much smaller zoo, which is kind of nice. It'll be kind of nice to not have to build massive exhibits all the time and then build this absolutely enormous zoo. We just got to build a small little fun zoo, which I'll be 100% honest is a nice bit of a break from the normal. All right, let's get some windows just kind of thrown in. Oops, we can't throw that. We'll just put some concrete powder there, I guess. So we'll throw some glass in there. And we'll do like that, I guess. And just throw in some random textures now. So just andesite. Forgot we need to throw in all of the like gravel and concrete powder last, because anything else we break will cause all of it to fall. Also, I don't think we used, did we not use cobblestone in the last one? I don't think we did use cobblestone in the last one. Because because this is meant to more look like weathered concrete than anything else. So, or than like stone. So I guess that makes some sense. That's not gonna work. All right, let's bring that in around there. That, and just kind of keep moving along with it. And we'll bring in some of this out and about, just to kind of mix things up a bit. And let's take a look around here. That's looking all right. I think the bigger problem is just the acacia, actually. It's just too dark. It's too dark, which is a bit of a problem. Just because it makes everything way too gray. But the problem is then we have the gate. Oh, this is a bit of a weird build, isn't it? How do it... You know what, maybe we do just have to... Maybe we do just stick with this. And we just don't put a pillar there. I guess we can keep this one here. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out later, I guess. Or we'll just go with this, because, I mean, this works. And then we'll just take these to kind of smooth out the doorway a little bit. And that'll be okay. And I want to see how this looks, because this might be an okay. Nah. Okay, I was going to say we could try that out as a hay block, but I don't think that's going to look as good. Let's get the acacia doors, because I feel like these look really cool for some exhibit gates. Yeah, I really like the look of that. I mean, it's super colorful, but I mean, you know, it's a staff gate then, you know? You're not really allowed to walk through there. And let's take, like, I don't know, this one here. and just make another little support for the glass railing. And that's fine. Okay, what to do with all of this nonsense? Trying to think. I guess we could do like world edit commands, I guess, and just kind of, well, and again, like that's kind of the weird thing with this build is, yeah, there's just not a tremendous amount of actual building for like Savanna exhibits. It's all pretty kind of, well, plain, which is, I mean, it's, you know, it's cool in its own right, but at the same time, it's also kind of like, man, this is a bit boring. We'll throw in some of the more granite terracotta rocks we did in the last big zoo we made. If you haven't seen these before, basically it's like a mixture of, well, I think back then we were using chisels, so there was a bit more of a, I think it was a bit of some brick textures, some granite texture, a bit of terracotta. I don't know if that's too light of a color. Let's try like some orange sandstone, although I feel like that might be a bit too bright. Yeah, I think that's too bright. But yeah, basically I made like these kind of Savanna styled rocks using a couple of different block textures. And I think this ends up looking pretty cool overall. Which people were making fun of, that I kept saying that all the time during the Jaguar exhibit build, which honestly, I did say it too much, but it's kind of funny. That looks okay. I mean, I think it'll look a lot better if we actually do just kind of go through real quick and I guess, let's see. I mean, if I do it like this, will it be faster? Yes, it will. Will there be more cleanup involved? Unfortunately, yes. So then we need to go like here and then like that, and then replace grass underscore block. But I also need to, you know what, let's do the undo command first, because that's probably gonna be smarter. All right, and now we'll bring up the last command and we will fix it so that way it actually does what I want it to do, which is that. And that actually doesn't look too bad. You know what, actually, I feel like I want to get rid of that again, and instead what we'll do is, we're gonna get rid of the podzol, because I don't think an area like this would have too much podzol, so we'll just up the percentage of, what, coarse dirt to about 50%. So, oh, okay, I think that's where the command's messing up. There we go. Is that a bumblebee? That is a bumblebee. Hello. Oh, you know what? I actually want to show this off real quick. So, I did make a few changes to the zoo since last episode. Not like over there, and actually they're way smaller than like the usual changes I do in between episodes. But one is, I started making a map of the zoo. So we'll like actually be able to see everything kind of coming together, and I think that's gonna look really cool. And one of the things I randomly noticed is over here, where there's a couple of beehives that have been spawning in the trees, which is kind of cool. I really like that. Again, not really like mind-blowing or immense changes that are, you know, dramatically changing this Minecraft world or how it works or anything, or, you know, massively changing the exhibits or anything. You know, it's not like something crazy, but I thought that was kind of cool. I don't know why, but bees, they're very cute. I actually kind of forgot, I'll be honest, I completely forgot bees were in the game until that thing spawned, the beehive spawned in, because I just play this version of Minecraft so infrequently that stuff like that just straight over my head, completely forgot it existed. And we can do stuff like that. We don't want to use too many of the normal rocks, I think, just because, you know, it's meant to be more of a savanna area, so I feel like, you know, I want a bit more of that, like, kind of like red oxide kind of look for the rocks in here. And that'll be okay right there. So now we'll just fill it up. And make sure you're getting rid of anywhere where the water doesn't cooperate. All right, there we go. Okay, so I had to like look up the command on how to do this, but well, and relaunch the game like twice before it actually loaded, but there we go. We've got a savanna biome in the exhibit now, which is pretty nice. So we got slightly different color of grass and whatnot, which should look pretty good. And I'm just gonna quickly run into this, or the shelter, and let's get some coarse dirt going, just to kind of make this look a bit more like an actual shelter and a bit less like a box, which is what it actually is, I guess. But you know what? Let's try to pretend for a quick second. We need hay. What is this? A hay nest. Cool. I have no use for that, but cool nonetheless. And then we'll just throw in like some more hay there. And actually, because we kind of been using these, part of me thinks that if we kind of bring in, not everywhere, but in a couple of these places, we bring in some stuff kind of like this, basically. So like, just kind of like that. We'll get a bit more of an interesting look, hopefully. Yeah, stuff like that. Just kind of things to, you know, mix it up a bit and make it look a bit better. But also I think we can just throw some like granite slabs and stairs around just to make a slightly better transition between the two. Or not between the two, between the levels of ground. And I think it works better here since the granite's a bit more of a, like, more earthy tone than the stone is. So we could also actually bring in, maybe even these river slabs would work well. Just kind of messing around like that, seeing what works. Well, and I think this area, the granite's gonna look a bit better, so we'll do that. And I mean, that actually doesn't look all that bad. So yeah, okay, we'll throw one more rock thing in as well, just cause we have two right now, and with where they're positioned, it kind of is gonna look weird if we don't throw a third one in. So we'll get like, we'll do like this and just kind of build it up around this little back area here. And just bada bing, bada boom. Job is a good one. All right, well, throw that there. Okay, so again, like I said, guys, this isn't gonna be a terribly long episode just because stuff like this, or when you're dealing with really small animals, it's pretty easy to get an exhibit built for them. I want this, and then, you know, we could try something. I'm not really sure if it'll work, but we can certainly try something in a second. I do want to see if we can use the beach grass. Can that go on gravel? That can't go on gravel. I might keep that though. Maybe we'll get some sand and we'll see about throwing some of this in. Or maybe we'll get some orange sand or red sand, whatever it's called. What was it gonna do? Okay, so I was gonna do like this, and I'm kind of realizing that this isn't really the animal you typically, or these aren't the animals you typically see these kind of feeders for. Typically you see them for more like taller, I want to say like impala, or what's the one? I cannot remember the name of it. I want to say it's like a ganook or something like that, but it's like basically it looks kind of like a gazelle or an impala, but it's got like a super long neck. They're like really cool looking. I really like them. We've got them at my local zoo. But they eat from stuff like this because they're super tall, so they put their feeders up super high. But yeah, I think that kind of looks, you know, it may not be the most accurate thing, but our feeder, but it looks kind of cool. And you know, at the end of the day, that's what matters. And no, that looks terrible, but it'd be kind of nice actually. Actually, you know, it would be, oh, you know what? I know I said like, oh, that thatch block wasn't gonna be useful for hay. I want to see actually. Oh, it just doesn't quite work. I was gonna say, so basically if the side things, if they came out a bit farther, they'd go completely through the trapdoor, which would mean like it's a bit more like a leaf block, which if I had take like, maybe we could just even take like an acacia leaf here and just kind of see how that'll look. Yeah, I might actually even just use these. Do we have like a more yellowy kind of leaf? I don't think we do, which is a bit unfortunate, but this might work a bit better just because you'll kind of see a bit more of the texture in it. And then we can actually just throw some proper like hay bales down here as well. So, you know, we got a couple of different food sources just kind of scattered about like that. And now, let's grab some oak leaves first and some bone meal. And we'll kind of start working on just texturing up this exhibit, making it look a little bit nicer. Again, I'm gonna try and be a bit more sparing with this because, well, you know, it's meant to be a bit more of a savanna, drier climate kind of exhibit, so there shouldn't be tons of plants everywhere, which is kind of weird for me to do because I'm used to putting plants absolutely everywhere. But I mean, yeah, like even that's okay. We'll just kind of throw in 2 more. We'll make them kind of small. And then we'll throw in some grass just around the exhibit. Just like this, you know, kind of making it look a bit more lively, but I also know I need to probably, actually I think if we just remove the flowers, it'll look a lot nicer. Or not nicer, but it'll look a bit more savanna-like. It'll look more dry. But yeah, anyway, let's get some animals in here. So we got some gazelles, and we can probably spawn a few more of these in, and we'll spawn in like 3 shoebills and 1, 2, 3, 4 ostriches. Why not? And let's just kind of see how that looks. Doesn't actually look that overcrowded. At least I think it doesn't. You people might disagree, but I'm the one who built it, so I'm the authority on the build. But yeah, they're looking pretty cool. Anyway, we should get we need to get a roof on the shelter put up because I completely forgot I need to do that. So I'll kind of just go for a very similar kind of roof type thing to what we've been doing for these. So just kind of like the usual trapdoors to create a bit of a shade overhang. Oh, look at that, they're actually wandering around. That's cool. And then we'll just kind of go like that. Probably kind of bring it out an extra shade here because, you know, this is where the zookeepers would be working, so I'm sure they would enjoy having a little bit of shade if they're having to be over here. And then we'll just kind of bring along probably a pretty similarly shaped roof to the other one, so just that kind of rectangular slope. So we'll just kind of do like that. And then like this. Not super like crazy or intuitive roofs, but you know what, they work. And that's really all you need from a roof. You just need one that works. And we'll kind of bring that around. Well, and actually we can, this one can be a bit more gradually sloped, I guess, because that won't matter quite as much. Since that doesn't connect up to a wall. Okay, and then, whoops. We'll just kind of 4 and if I can actually place these correctly, my goodness. Okay, da 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 da. Okay. So we got like a nice roof going on now, and we can like just quickly run around with some blocks and texture this up. Like this, which will look pretty good. And let me just get some gravel going in. Like that, and we might do the same mixture of like trapdoors and stuff up here, just to kind of, I don't know. I feel like that looked cool last time, so I'd be down to go with this again. And that's actually a pretty tall shelter, if I think about it now. So maybe we can like throw in just like some stuff like this. Oh, okay, so that's... We could do like, we could actually do like a proper, like bit of hay storage up there. And then we can make like some beams and whatnot kind of going along the roof here. Just to kind of, I don't know, add a bit more detail, make it look a bit less tall, I guess. I mean, I could have just built a smaller building, but you know what? That's just not the way the cookie crumbled. But that looks pretty good actually, and I think that's more than acceptable for this build. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, that's our ostrich gazelle shoebill exhibit. I think it turned out pretty good. Obviously, yes, there is way more decorating to do around it, but as usual, we're kind of going to leave around the exhibit decorations more than likely in between episodes, as I kind of just start filling things in as more exhibits kind of get added and I figure out more about where the paths are going. But yeah, that's the exhibit for today, and I'm pretty happy with this. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, I really like the gazelle, actually. They're really cute. Yeah, they're very cute. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed, and until next time, guys, see ya.